What's up, Internet Land? Zachimus Prime, aka Zachimus Prime, here with another Transformers third party review. The figure today that we're going to be reviewing is the X Transbots Gravestone. This is their Motor Master, and as you can see, first and foremost, backlives do not matter today. It's not the worst I've seen, but he's kind of a mess from the backside. Okay, for the most part from the front side. I say for the most part because he is not without his issues. Not the least of which being is I can't get this stupid panel to stay put. And the freaking face. First time I pulled his face out to swap it out for his yell face, I had to use a pry tool because it was just stuck in there pretty damn good. Now, it'll just come right out. So, I'm not happy about that. But, I guess it wouldn't really be X Transbots unless its quality was a bit questionable. Wow, I didn't even have to flick it that time. Not happy about that. And it's not that I, pulled it out and then didn't seat it back in properly. This is in exactly the right place. It just falls right out, though. Let's see if the other one falls out. I haven't put the other one back in. No, that one feels like it goes in quite well. I don't appear to have damaged that slot. It is weird. It is a mystery, and so is mankind. So maybe he's just going to have his yelling face for the time being. That was his regular face. And this is his yelling face. Enjoy it. Other accessories he comes with is a sword. The sword will fit in either hand, though to be perfectly honest. So you got your regular Masterpiece style tab, and it'll fit into this hand. Haven't been able to get it to go into this hand. Like the slot is there, but it's just having issues. Now I did measure. There it is. Finally crammed that in. Ooh, that is really tight. It was really tight. I actually measured the tabs on these, and the tab on the sword came out 5/1000ths of an inch larger than the tab on the gun. Now that may not seem like a big difference to anybody around here, especially since especially since a page of printer paper is about 3/1000ths of an inch. So we're talking about, a little less than 2 sheets of printer paper in terms of distance. But as a machinist, I can tell you that that makes a difference. And that may be the reason why the sword doesn't really want to plug into the other hand. But anyhow, he comes with the sword. It is all in one color. It is painted in some sort of a black with a little bit of metallic flake in it. Actually looks like a pretty decent color, to be honest. And the gun, similarly, all in one color. This one is a metallic purple. And it looks decent. They both look... I don't know. The gun looks a little large in his hands. It seems like it should be a two-handed gun, though he doesn't really have any good way. He could hold that with two hands. He's got enough crossover on his arms. Grab them nuts! But, the sword looks about right for him, though that probably means that it's going to look small on Menasor. If I remember correctly, the gun and the sword for this dude, whose name escaped me again, Motor Master, are also the same gun and sword for Menasor. So maybe they're gonna look big on him and regular size on Menasor, and maybe this is gonna look a little small. I don't know. All of that Menasor stuff isn't even out yet, so But those are his accessories that it comes with. Gosh, this tab right here just bugs me. I wonder if there's a way if I unclip all of his back stuff. Ah, there we go. If I unclip all of his back stuff and leave this hanging around, which it shouldn't be. I shouldn't have done that. Whatever. Anyhow, let's get into his articulation. His head is on a pivot. It rotates left and right, and then his head inside the box will go up and down. So, pretty decent. It bugs me so much. His arm is on a ratchet and it goes around. It doesn't feel scary at all. That's good. It's really good. Goes out for the full tree pose, and it will butterfly in. This is partially due to transformation joint, partially due to posability joint, because it actually sits like this in his vehicle mode. So that's not technically, I mean, you pull it out and it makes it, it facilitates transformation, but it's not a transformation joint per se. So dedicated, more or less. He has a bicep swivel. He has a single jointed elbow for that much bend. He has a wrist swivel, and he has the nicest hands that I think Transbots has actually made. Transbots normally comes out with these weird looking hands. And I'll be honest with you, this is in many ways, I mean, you can tell this is Transbots. All the fingers are the same length. Are they on my, no, my hand has them all different lengths. But on this hand, they're all the same length. But looking around on the other side, look at that. He's got all these tiny little screws for each of these knuckles, which allows some very attractive splay. This is the smallest I've seen this feature on. I've seen this featured on the big Toy World style combiners in the past. And I haven't seen it on anything this small yet, so that's cool. These joints are all individually, with a joint at the base and a joint in the middle and a joint at the tip. And the thumb has got a ball joint and a middle joint and a tip joint. And so, a fair amount of posability there. They actually look pretty decent, aside from the fingers all being the same length. And they, by the way, could mix up that length probably just by making these by making these joints different lengths, maybe, or I don't know. I've seen people also do it by making these segments different lengths. So he has a waist joint which clicks ever so slightly. He's got a little bit of a skirt armor here and here. The leg goes that far forward, goes that far back, let's get his arm out of the way. Out for the full Van Damme. He does not come with a rotation here at the hip. He does come with a knee joint for just over 90 degrees of bend and a rotation here at the knee. That's the one that'll give you the splayed out pose, which is really important for making a comfortably standing looking figure. Ankle joint tilts. Whoa. It also gets caught up. There's a little slider mechanism that retracts this for vehicle mode, and it'll get caught up on that sometimes, but you just kind of pull it out and pivot it again. Pivots a fair amount, bends that far forward, and it'll go back a little bit. Why is this heel not out? I must have forgotten to transform that last time I transformed him. There's a little tab here that plugs that heel into place, locks it in quite well. Anyhow, due to the due to the heel, it's not going to go back very far, but it'll click forward about as much as you want it to. There is a little peg right here that fits into a slot right there. That's supposed to keep this panel right here. Let's focus on that. And that's supposed to keep this panel stationary. But I don't know that it really matters all that much. It seems to work fine without it. That panel really then just serves to cover up that gap. And it does a fine job of that. So no complaints there. But that's it for posability. All in all, it's fairly posable. I don't know why this just doesn't want to go back in. Frustrating. It's the little things that frustrate me the most. Yes, that is what she said. Beat y'all to it. Oh, did I not pull out this tires here as well? I do like the faithfully replicated truck parts here. They do almost look like they could form a pretty coherent looking front of the truck. Of course, the actual truck front is right here. And it's weird because this plate that his neck goes on has grill detail on it. And this plate that keeps the chest allegedly closed has bumper detail on it. Like, despite this just being facilitating the transformation of the figure, there is detail to make it look like a truck even in robot mode, and I don't understand why. Not even a little bit. So, weird. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, he does have a dedicated ab crunch, but it is a tiny hinge. Just this little hinge here. I don't like it, and I would not recommend using it, but it is there. Also, one other action feature I should probably point out, if you come around to the actual truck bumper, you can flip out these little pegs right here, and you can plug in his, you can see there's a hole right there. You can plug in his gun, and there's a hole right there, and you can plug in his sword. So he's got storage, weapon storage, hooray. Not enough figures really have weapon storage. I like weapon storage, especially if it's nice and subtle and not ridiculously overdone. So in that way, this is actually pretty nice. But let's get him transformed up. So what we're going to do, we are going to start with the arms. I'm going to move this back and flip this out. Make sure. So you've got his arm moved out a little bit because it makes him look like he's less, cramped. So when you move this out, you just kind of squeeze that, put that all in line. You want to rotate this elbow 180 degrees, bend the elbow then 90 degrees, collapse this. You want to curl, let's put this on the screen, let's curl his fingers into a fist. This is the recommended way of doing it. The other fist I'm just going to do it the cheap shoddy haphazard way. It's just that the last joint on this is a little tight. It's the tightest joint of the whole finger, of each finger, and that's the one that you have to struggle with for each finger. Come on, bend. There you go. Get it into a chunky looking fist, and then we're going to rotate this like so. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pop this panel out. Come on, pop. Good. Pop that panel out. Bring this down. Pop this panel out. This one right here. And then we're just going to fold this up. Up, I say. And then in like that. And the fist is going to plug into this little cavity right here. It's not going to plug. It's just going to rest in there. You also want to put his thumb backwards, pointing this way. Because if you have it facing forwards, it's not really going to work out very well. This is going to come back down and close that up. We're going to fit this here and then close this like that. And then we're going to lift up this little panel right here. You want to get your thumb on this tab right here and untab that like so. And then this panel right here, you want to bring that up and clip that into place. And then bring this around. There's a little tab on the end of this panel. You want to kind of lift that up and into its home. Now there's a tab here and a slot here. That's just going to go in like that. And there is an arm basically done. Let's do the same for the other arm. I'm going to do this a lot quicker because we already seen it. I've seen it. Rotate, bend, collapse. These fingers here, I'm just going to curl like that. Like that. Because ain't nobody got time for that. Unpeg that panel there. Undo that panel there. Bring that down. Bring this around. Plug that into that little cavity. Close this. Close that. Fold that. Unfold this. Unfold this. Lift and tab. Push this out. Out. There we go. And lift up this panel and click it into place and then peg this in. Like so. Boom. Bada boom. Bada bang. We're going to open up this and kind of pull it out. There's a double hinge down here at the base. Down here. You want to get that out so it comes way down and you can fold up his titties like so. One of the things that may be causing this panel not to plug in is this is as open as I can get it, and you can see there's quite a discrepancy in location along that. This side is just fine, but this side has got quite a discrepancy, and that may be causing a misalignment that cascades into this attachment not working. Let's pull out these tires like so. And then let's start working on the stuff on the back. You want to take this wind vane and pull this, and then you kind of want to, there's a tab here and one here, and you want to wiggle those out. And then this kind of folds into, covers up this gap in here, and that I found really gets in the way, and you got to kind of just yank and pray, and it comes out just like that. So now what we want to do is we want to open this panel and this panel, and then we want to take this, we want to fold the sides of this down and up like that. Now I want to fold these down and down like that. Bring this all the way around, and then come out to this side and take these and then fold them back around the other way and fold this in like so. And that's where that lives. So you take this and you have this is basically in position here. Let's close up these windows again. You want to have this one, this tab goes on the underside, so that one first and then this one. They'll kind of clip together a little bit. Now this was plugged in with this slot into this tab. Now we're going to put this slot and this slot onto both of these tabs like so. While we're thinking about it, we're going to move this up and into that hollow space right there. That'll keep everything kind of plugged together. And we're going to slide this all the way back like so. You'll see that wasn't a very good angle, but you'll see this waist joint slides And then down back here, we're going to move this panel up, and that panel, and then take, and you want to fold, let's bend this waist joint just to facilitate this. You want to fold this in about 45 degrees or so, and then fold this panel in. And then as you fold this in, you're going to straighten the whole thing back out. So fold that, bend this in, and then straighten it back out. A little bit clever, actually. I kind of enjoy that. These are going to plug in, and you kind of want to, there's a tab here, right here on this wind vane. It's going to go in. And that is the front half of him pretty well done. He's now turned into Truckman, the Decepticon. So now let's do his legs real quick. So we're going to spread these out one click. We're going to take the leg that we're going to focus on now, which is going to be his right leg. We're going to rotate this 90 degrees in like so. We're going to open up this panel here, bring it around, bring this all the way around, and it's just going to kind of slide into place right there. That's all we're going to do with it at the moment. Now we're going to take this whole thing, we're going to open this up, and we're going to fold this out and fold this out. Then we're going to take his heel, we're going to fold this in, fold that in, fold this little fake wheels in like that. And you'll see here, there's a tab right here, and there's a corresponding groove all along this truck face. You want to seat that tab in the groove and then slide it. Oh wait, we want to open up that panel. Slide it in until it comes all the way in like that. And then this panel, this slot will go onto that tab. Like so. And then we're going to slide this whole thing in. Oh, whoops. I'm missing a key step. This is actually fairly critical. There's a little panel right in here, and it's hard to see from this side, so I'm going to show it to you from this side. It's this panel right here, and you want to wiggle that around so that that tab faces out. The leg will not collapse with that tab sticking in there. There we go. And then we're going to fold this up. And that's where we're going to leave it for now. So let's do the other leg again. Bend this in, open this up, bring this around, fold it like that. We're going to open this panel here, fold that leg, fold that heel, bring this open, bring in the tires, slide this back, open that, do this little doohickey. And then collapse this leg all the way down. Close this up. Close this up. And then we can take now this tab and slot that we folded out here, those are going to go together, and at the same time you want to you got to kind of pull on this to get this to go up and around this little slot that it goes into. Once it goes in there quite well, actually. And then what you want to do is you want to bring this up And the way you're going to seat these, we're going to do it one at a time. You'll see there's these two little tabs on the inside here. They're going to go into two little slots inside this hand area here. And you want to be careful about this, because at the same time, you got to get this part of the smokestack to go over that little stub there. Like so. And that's the only, there's like a little peg here, but that's just for spacing. These little pegs are the only ones that go into this whole little panel here. And you can push them in one at a time. I haven't had any success doing it two at a time. And then last but not least, let's take this. You'll see there's a slot in here. You can't really see it, but there's a tab on the other side. You're going to bring that in and just clip it into place. I accidentally retracted this panel. You can just kind of push on the corner to get it to click back out, and it will click into place. There it is with the other side. And boom. Bada bang. Bada boom. There he is, Gravestone, in his vehicle mode. And he looks like a truck. He looks like a truck without a trailer, because that's precisely what he is. The only action feature he really has is these wheels will rotate back and forth. So you can have him like he's steering. Let's have him steer even harder than that. But yeah, there he is in his truck mode. He looks pretty good. You know, he's all black and purple. And that's all basically how it's supposed to be. Purple on the tanks here, purple trim around the wheel, purple on the smokestacks, purple trim up here, purple on the horns, purple on the grill, purple, just purple, 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 and black. And really nothing else. He doesn't have a trailer, but if you look very closely, you'll see two slots right here. These are MP10 style slots. He will take MP10's trailer if you have one around. I don't anymore. I got rid of my MP10. But yeah, you can have him take MP10's trailer, and I understand it looks pretty decent. It's about the same scale and size and whatnot. Rubber tires, silver paint apps on the rims. I don't know why they didn't go with purple, but you know, it would have been keeping with the theme if they made them purple. But you know, I actually really like the look of the silver ones. So that's it for this guy. He's all right. He's not my favorite Minosaur or Motormaster. To be perfectly honest, my favorite Motormaster is the Generation Toy Motormaster. I thought that figure was wonderful in all of its modes. Just an astounding looking figure. And this one's okay. I don't have any problem with it only forming the cab. I always thought that it was really, really weird that Optimus Prime is just the cab of a truck and then turns into an Optimus Prime size figure. And this guy is the full freaking truck, and he turns into a smaller figure than Optimus Prime. Well, canon-wise, technically it's the same size. I just always thought that was super weird. And in terms of cleverness, I like the way Fans Toys dealt with that. I thought that was really slick, but also made it really complicated. And when it gets its combiner parts, it's going to look ridiculous with like a super long extra trailer and whatnot. This guy here, I think this is a good solution. So, but all in all, I still prefer the Generation Toy one. But anyhow, that's all I have to say about that. Thanks everybody for watching. You guys are fantastic. Everybody stay awesome and be good to each other. See ya. Bye.